A few things about Subaru Outback 2023 model that I wish I knew before buying it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Dimitri. This is ValueCars Australia. I'm sitting in my Subaru Outback and I am in a very good mood. I would love to share with you my impressions from owning this vehicle for well over 6 months, and it has a little bit over 5,000 kilometers on the clock. I know it's nothing in the grand scale of things, but it's a solid ownership for over 6 months, pretty much every day, camping in the car, using it as day-to-day vehicle. So which things are good about it? Which things are frankly disappointing? So make yourselves comfortable. Hopefully you will enjoy this. This video is sponsored by Firebox, my very good friends Firebox. They are creators of premium style, premium quality and technical clothing. It's plain clothing. They have hoodies, they have jackets, rainproof jackets, they have amazing pants, like nice pants as well, trust me, as well as t-shirts. No print, fits with every style really, really high quality. You will just have to take my word for it. The t-shirts are really nice. I am just like every other average man out there. I like cheap, okay? I like cheap stuff. Firebox is not cheap, but once you have this in your hands, once you touch this material, once you wash it, once you take a look at that versus the cheap stuff that we can get from variety of stores out there in Australia and other places in the world, you see the difference, my friend. First of all, feels very good. Second of all, retains the heat or repels the heat depending on what kind of particular apparel you have chosen. I'm really grateful to Firebox for sending me some of these shirts and some of these hoodies to feature over here on my channel, and perhaps to give you a little bit of a discount and a bit of a link in the description below. All right, my friends, so I will start with disappointing things because there are a lot more good things to say about this vehicle. So first of all, fuel consumption. Fuel consumption is nothing but disappointing, really disappointing. I'm a good driver. It's been a hot summer in Australia for majority of time of me owning it so far for these 6 months. Yes, we have longer summer-like seasons. And I'm gonna tell you that with air conditioning running and not towing anything, not doing anything crazy with the vehicle, I'm averaging about 10.5 to 11 liters per 100 kilometers. Which I think is on the very thirsty side, considering that this is not a massive SUV, not a massive 4x4 on a frame. It's a city car. Yes, it's all-wheel drive, of course, as all Subarus are, but at the same time, I still think it's really thirsty. It's inefficient. Like, let's be honest. Let's just cut to the chase and say that if efficiency of fuel consumption is of interest to you, if you are a money conscious person, you know, that's why you perhaps are looking at hybrids and that kind of stuff. This naturally aspirated 2.5 liter engine, it's not a 2.4 turbo, it's a 2.5 liter engine, but it's a 2023 model. You might have one, you might get one cheaply and stuff. You need to be not very concerned about the petrol consumption, basically, to feel comfortable with this. It is a topic that comes back to my mind over and over. Like, I'm not gonna say that I'm extremely in that economical thing, like it's over 10 liters per 100 kilometers and I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna say that, but it bothers me. It bothers me, hence it makes the list as a #1 priority for you to consider. Be okay with it before you consider this car, okay? Second thing is the embedding of everything, all controls, majority of them, I'm going to say all, but not all. Some of the knobs are physical here, but a lot of controls are embedded in this infotainment screen. So essentially, if you are going to use infotainment, well, this screen area, central screen area for navigation, let's say, for your maps and stuff, and there is a lot of good to say about it, but if you're going to use it for navigation, then you need to be okay with the fact that the controls that you may otherwise need access to are inaccessible to you during that period of time. It's one or another. But then, with that being said, the offsetting factor is that the temperature up, temperature down, turn on the demisting of the windscreen, you know, those kind of basic functions, volume up, volume down, they are available as these little knobs and buttons, but there are very few of them. Subaru put a lot into the electronics, into the inside. I'm not a fan of that. It's not, again, make it or break it, but I'm still not a fan after 5,000 kilometers and after 6 months. It bothers me, not as much as fuel consumption. It bothers me. You need to be aware of it. Make your decision educated. Be clear on this kind of stuff. Storage, internal storage. The car itself is phenomenal, and we'll talk about that in the good bit in terms of the storage at the back. But in terms of the storage at the front, look, the cup holders are okay. Like, I'd say they are okay size. They are fine. They are not as stupid as, let's say, in Tank 300 or in some other vehicles where I was like, who was designing these tiny cup holders? Like, what's up with that? They are okay, these ones. The cup holders are okay in the, well, bottle holders are okay in the doors as well. But I still, for the life of me, cannot understand why Subaru made such a small glove box. Glove box is such a central kind of thing to put stuff into, and the glove box here is atrociously tiny. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get why it's so non-functional. It's horrible. Speaking of central, there is a central panel obviously here, openable, and you can put stuff in there. There is a good stuff about it because it's a double shelving. Like, there is a little shelf, and then you can open the whole thing and expose the big compartment there with the whole storage where you can put stuff in, whatever you want. Look, a reasonable amount of stuff goes in there. I can't probably bash them too much on this, which I'm not gonna. Otherwise, this segment is far too long, longer than I wanted to be. But yeah, be aware that as far as the glove box is concerned, particularly, it bothers me, it's insufficient. Final thing among the bad, disappointing, please be aware things is the reverse camera. Reverse camera that's built in here if you're not using any aftermarket infotainment screens, something that I'm reviewing on Auto Gear Reviews channel, something I spoke enough about. If you're not using one of those, if you're relying on the built-in electronics, the camera is lowish quality. It's not horrible, but it's not great. And the form factor of the screen when the camera comes on is too small for you to see well, especially in the low light conditions. Oh my god, in the low light conditions, a small reverse camera screen as well as the poorly lit, like clearly not one of the best kind of visual sensors that are capturing what's behind the car, it sort of makes me feel a little uncomfortable. It's not a showstopper. None of these things, other than maybe the fuel consumption, should be showstoppers for you, but these are things for you to consider before you buy this vehicle. Now, finally, on to the good stuff. Yay! My friends, it's one of the best vehicles that I owned. It is without a doubt one of the best vehicles that I owned for my purposes. My purpose is transport my family periodically, go up the coast to Queensland or something for a little, for a long, actually not a little 2,000 kilometer on average back and forth road trip, to pack a lot at the back and to camp inside of the vehicle. There is a conversion of the whole back thing that I've reviewed in a different video. This is the best car for that. You are relatively stealthy, not attracting attention for yourself from the outside. Not that I have particular reason to hide, but it helps sometimes not to attract attention to yourself. As well as it has plenty of leg room, plenty of space, and by leg room I mean a mattress. A whole mattress can be unfolded there. It is a wonderful car for that particular purpose. I would not live in it, aka not full-time, and not even for lengthy trips where I would live in the car for days. I would not do it because it lacks storage. Once again, you would need to look for aftermarket solutions, such as having one of those big things attached to the roof, you know, the ones that you see on the cars passing by that take camping seriously. It's insufficient. But for yourself, as a single, especially person, one person with a bag or with a box even of things, as I sometimes throw a few things here and there, for a day or two, it's perfect. It's wonderful. I absolutely love it. I also love how it drives. I know I mentioned it before, but now is the time to say, after 6 months, after 5,000 kilometers behind the wheel, I think it's fantastic how it drives. It feels solid, it feels robust, it feels like it will start anytime. I've been on holidays for 10 days, over 10 days. The car was parked outside, in rain, in sun. It didn't even cross my mind for a split second that I can come back, push the start button, and it will not start. It started like a dream, no problem. I know you probably will say, come on, man, like majority of cars will do it. Well, man, I also had some Chinese cars, such as my wife's MG ZST, that after rain refused to start. Take a look at that video. It's not like it's an unfounded, just a pulled out of thin air topic. It is a legit topic. Some of those cars made me like, oh, I hope it starts. This car doesn't give me that feeling, and that is a wonderful, massive compliment to Subaru. Of course, deserved. It's a brand that's recognizable, up there with Toyotas of the world in terms of reliability, true, real reliability. And again, back to driving, it drives wonderfully. All-wheel drive system works really, really well. Until you have experienced it, you don't know what it is. You think that your two-wheel drive is okay. So did I with my Haval H6, with my previous cars. I was like, come on. In the city, do you need all-wheel drive? That was my go-to kind of excuse almost to not pay extra money for the all-wheel drive systems. Luckily, it comes built in, and sort of Subarus just come all-wheel drive. And thank you, Subaru, because it's awesome. It grips to the road on the turns, on the corners. I go through bad weather, I go through good weather, gravel, no, whatever. I don't really care. It also has a very, very impressive clearance. It has like 22, 23 centimeters of clearance. Would you believe that? On these 18-inch wheels. Not being a big, massive off-roader, not being a 4x4 on the frame, it's impressive, man. And I didn't even take it anywhere really, really far into the bush and stuff, but I've been off the beaten path, and I've been through terrible rains and almost floods of Sydney in this, and it didn't give me anxiety, ever. It was always gripping the road, it was driving nicely, it gave this like solid kind of like, I don't know how to express it, but it's almost an emotional feeling of safety and of how solidly everything is built. Not for a split second anything creaked. Not for a split second any of this build made me question the quality or made me fear for the fact that I might be stuck somewhere. In fact, I was on a few occasions when I was on camping grounds and stuff and it was raining, I was like, come on, try to bog me down. Let's go. I'll make a video out of it, and I'm gonna freaking enjoy it as well in the process. So anyway, so that's how I feel about the Subaru. Drive experience is wonderful. I would even say pricing category. The sticky point always that kind of brings Chinese, cars into the forefront. That's what created my channel a while ago, because Chinese now are being a bit aggressive on the pricing. We'll talk about this in the other video. But so they used to be cheaper, competitive. Now they're trying to climb up there where Subaru already is. This car costs $50,000. You can get Cherry Tiggo 7 Pro right now at the same time of recording of this video for close to that amount of money. Yeah, it's also packed with electronics, it's also all-wheel drive, yada yada, but it's Cherry. And this is Subaru. So, I'm sorry, we are not gonna hammer this. I think I'm making my point loud and clear. But I think Subaru's cars are actually priced competitively and appropriately. My point is appropriately. For this quality, for the name, even for badge snobs, I think it satisfies even badge snobs. It's a freaking Subaru, okay? So yeah, so these are the kind of things off top of my mind, unscripted, that come to mind. I wish I knew them before buying this car. Final question you would ask me and I would ask myself, if I knew all of that, now after 6 months of owning this vehicle, would I buy this or would I buy something else? And the answer is very simple. If you followed my journey over the past couple of years on this channel, I bought and exchanged a few China-made cars for different reasons. I enjoyed them during the period of time while it is, and I exchanged them not because I have too much money, and I lost some money in the process, by the way, but because the market was kind of sort of facilitating that. So I could sell a used car for almost as much as I bought it for. Anyway, separate rant, separate question. While I could, I was exchanging cars and I was like, yep, cool, fun, this, that, don't like this, don't like that. In this car, I'd say it's the first car in my recent, I know it will sound crazy, in my recent 5 cars that I owned, I know, it's probably the one that satisfies me the most. Again, I love to camp, I love to fit into my car, I love to feel safe and solid on the road, and I don't want to spend exorbitant amounts of money, okay? And on an novated leasing, on some smarter arrangement, I think 50 grand for a nice solid vehicle, big vehicle like this wagon, family wagon, I think it's appropriate. That's what I think. So yes, if I knew this, I would have saved money on resale, the loss of resale of those other vehicles, and straight away went for this, possibly. Can I think of better vehicles, or am I tempted by other vehicles right now? You know the answer to this question. You know me well enough. Of course I am, because that's what I do, or that's what I did. Fortunately for me, I'm a bit more sensible right now, so I'm sticking to the terms of novated lease as well. I'm stuck with this car for a while, which doesn't mean that I'm not going to be reviewing other cars from GWM and other companies. So if you're new here and you enjoyed this unpretentious little narrative, my friends, please give me a like, subscribe to the channel. More videos are coming to you. So far, we haven't broken our pattern of one video per week. Your likes help. Please don't leave without leaving me a quick like. It takes a lot longer to put these videos together, and YouTube shows the video to more people, the more people like these videos, if you liked it, of course. And talk to me always in the comments down below. Historic data will show you that I speak to everyone, I respect everyone, and I respond to everyone who respects me, my audience, and who is not a troll. Welcome back, everyone, if you're back after holidays like I just came back from holidays, and I'll talk to you next time.